You've been through a lot of, with the company, you've been through a lot of ups and downs over the years, you know, a lot of heights, a lot of lows. Do you regret anything for Gaspari Nutrition, anything that happened that you wish you could have changed or not?
When I went through the hardest time in my business, when I went into bankruptcy, I was going through not only litigations through, adversities that I had with other people that were fighting me, employees. The hardest part was also going through a divorce at the same time. And I just wish I had somebody that was there working with me while I was going through that time, because when you're going through both personal and business conflict, you almost go into a hole. And what happened was I just went into a foxhole and watched my world crumble. And I look back at it now, I said, well, I could have done this and this, but emotionally, I just wasn't able to do that. And it was like thinking, if I had the right people working for me that I didn't have, they could have prevented that from happening and possibly not going through the hardships that I went through.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got to give it to you, man. You stood the test of time. And you continue going.
They say is you can go through hardships for a certain amount of time, and if you just continue going through it, eventually it reverses.
Right.
And I do see doors open. I do see opportunities. I look at it now that I'm in my 50s, and I'm looking at a brand, looking to do a brand called Gaspari Ageless. I want to do an anti-aging brand because now there's a lot of guys in their late 40s to 60s that want to stay young, with testosterone boosting, skin repair, joint repair, all these things. So I'm looking at that market to go into because I think it's a good market. It's a growing market.
I was going to ask you about that. A few months ago, you made a post. You went to get a Botox.
Yes.
And you were very open about it, and you were kind of like, that's what I do. And I was like, wow, Rich is very open about that type, because a lot of men wouldn't. And women is fine, but men would not admit that or even go public with that.
Yeah.
Were you okay with that?
Because I just don't, listen, I'm in front of the public. I want to look young. I'm in my 50s, so of course I do Botox. And there's a lot of guys that do Botox that won't admit to it.
Of course.
That they should, but they don't. So I posted it, and the thing just went viral when I did that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, a lot of people were frowning upon it, just age gracefully. But there's nothing wrong with, trying to stay young. There's nothing wrong with trying to look young to the public. So yeah, I see nothing wrong with showing that, and a lot of men should actually be bold enough. And there's I can mention a lot of guys in the industry that are Botoxing, but they won't admit that they're Botoxing.
Right.
So.
Would you recommend that to a guy to do that?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, in mild amounts. I mean, you can see my face still with plastic, but I've done it to just kind of take a little bit of the stress away from your face, because when you go through especially when you're running a business and you're very, you're stressed, you seem to get more wrinkles. So you want to try to loosen it up.
I think it's man has a stigma, right? Not to talk about these things because it makes them look less manly. You know what I mean? Is that the perception you would think?
I think that's what it is. It's it's not manly to admit that. Listen, I use all types of facial creams. I use vitamin C. I use collagen. I do everything I can to try to defy the aging process. That's why I told you about doing a brand, because I believe in it. I believe that there are ways to defy aging. You're not going to beat it, but at least you can keep yourself looking good for a longer period of time.